Hello, Ungoogleable. Welcome to your life. Today is beautiful. Please log in.
Wheeler didn't detail exactly what those rules would be, but the Wall Street Journal says it has a source. Who knows? Further reading, net neutrality is half-dead. Court strikes down FCC's anti-blocking rules. Ruling lets ISPs block and discriminate against customers' communications. The Federal Communications Commission plans to propose new open internet rules on Thursday that would allow content companies to pay internet service providers for special access to consumers, according to a person familiar with the proposal, the Journal reported. This would be the opposite of the FCC's original intent with the 2010 Open Internet Order passed under Wheeler's predecessor, Julius G. Nachowski. The order forbid internet service providers from blocking or discriminating against services or charging content providers for preferential treatment. Verizon challenged those rules and won, with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit ruling that the Commission improperly imposed common carrier obligations on ISPs without first declaring them to be common carriers. Public interest advocates called on the FCC to reclassify ISPs as common carriers, which would have allowed the Commission to reimpose the original rules. Instead, Wheeler said in February that he would come up with new rules that fulfill the no blocking goal and fulfill the goals of the non-discrimination rule without going the common carriage route. In the original order, non-discrimination meant that ISPs couldn't charge content services like Netflix or YouTube for faster access to consumers. In Wheeler's proposal as described by the Wall Street Journal, ISPs would be allowed to charge for faster access as long as they don't block or discriminate against specific websites. The proposed rules would prevent the service providers from blocking or discriminating against specific websites, but would allow broadband providers to give some traffic preferential treatment, so long as such arrangements are available on commercially reasonable terms for all interested content companies, the Journal reported. Whether the terms are commercially reasonable would be decided by the FCC on a case-by-case basis. Companies like SkiPay or Netflix could pay broadband providers for preferential treatment on the last mile of broadband networks that connects directly to consumers' homes, the report said. The proposal as described would not address pay-for-play arrangements for the network interconnections that occur outside the so-called last mile. For example, Netflix payment Comcast for direct connection to its network would be illegal under the proposal. It wouldn't be a surprise if Wheeler's proposal does provide legitimacy to pay-for-play arrangements on the last mile. Even before most of the Open Internet Order was struck down in court, Wheeler endorsed the idea of a two-sided market in which both home internet customers and content companies pay internet service providers. "I am a firm believer in the market," he said at the time. "I think we are also going to see a two-sided market where Netflix might say, well, I'll pay in order to make sure that you might receive, my subscriber receives, the best possible transmission of this movie." I think we want to let those kinds of things evolve. We want to observe what happens from that, and we want to make decisions accordingly, but I go back to the fact that the marketplace is where these decisions ought to be made, and the functionality of a competitive marketplace dictates the degree of regulation. Just today, we described the revolving door between the FCC and the industries that
Thank you for logging out. Today was a wonderful day. Please come back tomorrow.
Red, blue, green.
Mic check 1 2.
Congratulations. You reject the good enough. You reject words like symbolism and postmodernism. Obsolescence is not part of your vocabulary. Every night, every day, every step of the way. The diktat of fashion. The agenda of the color wheel. Gone. It takes more than a pretty face to catch your attention. I repeat. It takes more than a pretty face to catch your attention. Good. That is very good. Clear source decoded. For you. For the most perfect moisturizer. The most advanced cosmetic lineup. Scientifically proven, scientifically tested. For you.
Congratulations, calibration completed.